grew up with a aunt who had rental properties at the Lake of the Ozarks. And I graduated high school and I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know, like I tried to sell cars, I tried to sell insurance, I worked at the restaurant, you know, all throughout high school. What is next? And I said, well, why don't I just manage your vacation rentals? And, you know, I'm young, 18, 19 at the time. So I ended up moving to Lake of the Ozarks and managed all of her Airbnbs. And I think that was when something really clicked to where I think I found the path that I needed to be on. And we had a great season. I cleaned all the houses. I did all the repairs. I managed all the booking. I did all the marketing. I'm like, this is totally it. And so I moved down there and would hop to like each Airbnb as the guests would turn, you know, flip the bedding, do the whole shebang. And getting the review at the very end of that was really what clicked. Like I am totally onto something. And that was really what inspired me to get my license. So when I got my real estate license, I left the vacation industry and then helped start a property management company at a local real estate office. And I think really after doing that for a year and getting a different set of experiences from the real estate side, I feel like I was more working on behalf of the property owner and not necessarily the tenant. So I lost that like person to person, you know, experience and relationship. And I think really that was the second leg of the, you know, I'm on to something. And that was when I got into residential, you know, real estate. And I joined a small residential team, you know, learned the contractual side of things, learned the marketing, ran all the listings, and then got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna do this on my own. And if we talk about the birth of Kammeier Property Group, you know, and me somewhat stepping out and doing my own thing, my great grandfather had the Kammeier Meat Market down in Wellston, Missouri. And, you know, I come from, you know, a wonderful family, but none of which who owned businesses or, you know, were college educated. And so I somewhat wanted to just keep that Kammeier name, you know, living and breathing. And that was what got me to, you know, where I am today. When I go back to the Kammeier Meat Market, back in the 40s and 50s, the butcher was the staple of the community, right? We didn't have Walmarts, we didn't have, you know, all these big supermarkets. The butcher was the staple of that community. So transitioning to the real estate side of things, I mean, I wanted to continue that legacy of being a staple in the community. And I think that was ultimately what got me to, you know, keeping the Kammeier name while also being at a point that I'm still part of the community. The needs of people back in the 40s and 50s is drastically different than the needs of, you know, people today. But I do believe that there are still roots that the needs of back in the 40s and 50s still are the needs today. They want the local authority, they want the local expert to be able to pick up the phone and say, here's what's going on. How can I help you? What are your needs? Hey, here's what's happening in your community that I think that you should be aware of. That's where I think, yes, the needs are different, but the values behind what my great grandfather did in the 40s and 50s is still true to this day, in my opinion. I'm the last Kammeier. And I think that comes with a massive amount of responsibility to continue to build what he started, but also in a way that is long lasting.